Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I am a homeschooling mom to a up-and-coming 5th grader, and it is time for a Spanish update. If you've watched my 2025-26 4th grade curriculum review video, you may know or remember that we were using Flip-Flop Spanish and getting started with Spanish. And I honestly really love both of those programs, and I still really love both of those programs. But I was feeling like we were missing some of those foundational skills, things like numbers, colors, the alphabet, and other basics. They were here and there in Flip-Flop Spanish. I didn't feel like it was enough or structured in a way that I wanted. And that's why I had tried Homeschool Languages Level 1. I intentionally chose it because it was something that was a little younger, and I thought I knew it would have those basics, giving us a solid foundation. Unfortunately, it just wasn't the right fit for us, so I had to go back to the drawing board. So that led me on a journey of reviewing many different Spanish curriculums. And at one point, I almost gave up and just started creating like a block of foundational skills that I want her to learn in Spanish, and we were going to implement it with the Flip-Flop Spanish and the Getting Started with Spanish. But then I stumbled upon Speedy Spanish. And after looking through it, I decided that that is what we are going to try this year. Now, this curriculum focuses on conversational Spanish first instead of just jumping into grammar. And actually, most of the curriculums that we've used also focus on the conversational Spanish first. So that's just something that I'm drawn to when I'm looking at Spanish curriculum. And one of the things that I really like about it is the way that it's structured. It's very consistent. It has a pattern that you follow. So Monday's vocabulary, Tuesday's practice, Wednesday is what they call match, and Thursday's memorization, and Friday would be review. I love how predictable it is, the routine of it all. Hopefully that we, get into a flow and we're not worried about like what we're doing, and we can really focus on the actual learning. Now, for the most part, we teach secular. We do teach through a charter, and so like our samples that we turn in have to be secular, and we just mostly teach secular or a variety of different religions when it comes to that topic. But this is a Christian curriculum, so I did have to make a few modifications for it to fit our family, but it seems like the modifications are extremely easy with what I've gone through so far, because it seems like almost all of the religious content is contained on Thursday, which is the memorization day. And so we basically won't be doing that, and then our review will be moved up to Thursday, giving us a 4-day Spanish week, and Friday a flexibility day if we want to work other stuff in, which we might, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But first, I wanted to show you guys this curriculum a little bit more. One of my favorite things that I love about it is that it seems to have the basics in there, the foundational basics, and it works them in every week, and it does it in a way that's not as if it's talking to a 5-year-old, which I really appreciate, because finding that has been very hard to find a curriculum that teaches what they would learn when they're little, but not as if they are little. And that's not a criticism for the younger programs at all. They're designed for younger children, and they do a good job at what they are meant for. But when you're teaching an older elementary student who still needs those basics, those options become a lot more limited. So the components that you need for this Spanish curriculum is the teacher's guide, and then the student books, workbook A and workbook B. And you literally open it up and there's the first thing, the alphabet. And they have the alphabet weaved into each lesson. So I'll show you what that looks like in the teacher book. But I wanted to show you one of the other components you need for this curriculum, which is the audio, which comes on a little USB stick. And so I just keep this in my teacher binder. And so that's all you need. And then flashcards, they do sell flashcards. Because I was starting to create my own curriculum in the midst of my journey of trying to find the right Spanish curriculum, I actually already started a bunch of the basics when it comes to flashcards. So when I looked at the flashcards that you would need in the curriculum, and I saw that I had a majority of them already made, I decided to just make the rest by hand instead of buying that extra piece. And so I'm in the process of completing those, and then I'll have everything I need to be able to teach this. And if you had wanted to see, I just keep my flashcards in these little these are for like index cards. You get them at like Walmart or the dollar store or Target or something. And then I just have templates for flashcards on Canva, and so I just go in and I create them. There's like notes and how to pronounce it on the back, and then I organize it just by whatever the topic is of the flashcards. And so I had already had all these created before I found this. And so yeah, so those are what we will be using. I just got to finish creating those. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little peek on the inside of the teacher manual. You have your contents, which I mean really is just saying the units and the lessons. There's not much there. You have your intro, the components you'll need, how to use the course, the schedule that they recommend. Then it talks about some of the appendices, and then it goes into the lessons. So what you're seeing in this photo is what they see in their student workbook. So this is what you're seeing here, but with the teacher notes around it. So the very first thing that it says is to make sure you read the Spanish alphabet and pronunciation rules before you begin teaching. Then it has a vocabulary section, and then the phrases of the week section. And then it goes into introducing the sounds to A, B, and C. Then you would have the second page that the student would see. Well, this is the second page, but it has 2 different days on here, right? Because one day is practice and one day is match. Then memorize is what we would be skipping because this is the biblical stuff. And then you have review. And then it goes into the next lesson. And so it seems very simplistic. Again, I just love the consistency, the pattern. I'm hoping that really helps us this year. Of course, I will keep you guys up to date with how it's going. And as far as flip-flop Spanish and getting started with Spanish, I don't think I'm done with them yet. I genuinely love both programs. And I think they both have something really valuable to offer. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to fit them in yet. I think for now, we'll start with Speedy Spanish. We'll settle into it and we'll see how it goes. Once we get into a rhythm, I'll decide whether I want to bring the other programs back in as supplements. And we do have Friday to play around with. So if we really wanted to be ambitious, we could also work those into Friday as well. But I want to see how this goes by itself first and just kind of get settled in. And hopefully this is the balance that we've been looking for. Hopefully this gives us those foundational skills that I've been wanting her to have. And yes, of course, I will keep you guys updated as we get further into the school year. And once I have like a review of us using it for a few weeks or a month or so. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.